And I got some fairly large holes to patch, and I'm just going to use my caulking. I'm going to have to do this over probably 3 different days, but that's fine because I got all kinds of other stuff I can do. This used to be for a track light, and Mommy's decided to get maybe a track head that's just, we'll just go over that. Just go over that. It won't be a track where you can put different heads on there and twist them however you want. It'll just be a nice trim piece on that, just with one head on it, and then you can swivel it. You can swivel it whatever direction you want. You want it coming down this way, down along the wall. My guess is it'll probably go down off of there. And see, there's another one over here. And that'll probably go that way, there, or there. It'll just be on a swivel head. No additional long, skinny track. That's why they call it a track light. Okay, so obviously it's not really a track light that she's going to install there. It's just going to be a head with trim, and then the head is swivelable. Okay, so I've got to patch these holes, and on this one, they just screwed it up into the wood. Well, this one, I have no idea what the guy was thinking, because he drilled this, and you see back in there, I think you can see it, there's wood behind the sheetrock. He drilled right up through the wood, because somebody told him, and he was probably the apprentice, hey, go ahead and install those, and you're gonna need molly bolts or toggle bolts or whatever. And so he drilled up through there, and he thought, son of a gun, there's wood. Okay, the guy told me to use mollies. I'll drill up through the wood so I can use the mollies so that those can be on the back side. And see, when I unscrewed it, you can still see the little piece up there, see? That's the end of it. It's the wing that goes doink like that, and then you screw the screw up there, and that holds it up there. And so he installed this one first, and he was telling his boss probably, and the guy said, why didn't you just use screws? So then he put this one up probably, I'm just thinking here, and he just used screws into the wood. And come to think about it, see, he installed that's not even straight, is it? He should have raised that side up about 1/2 inch, and I measured off there, that was crooked. And initially I thought, I'll just leave that track piece up, and I'll cut in around just like the last painter did. I'm glad I didn't do that, and I'm glad Mommy and I were talking about the light fixtures and all that kind of stuff, because had I have done that, and then had she have picked out the lights after that, I'd have been screwed, because she would have wanted me to take the track down, then she would want me to install there, then I would have to patch the holes, then I would have to repaint that and touch up the ceiling and all that. As it is, I'm glad she mentioned something, and so now those big monster holes I've got to fix, and I don't want to fix those with webbing tape and quick set and skimming material, or texture and all that kind of stuff. I could use wet spackle in there or dry spackle. I don't have any, and I don't really like using that stuff, because then you get a tendency to be lazy when you use that stuff, and you get it all over the place. And even when you use spackle, the spackle, when it dries, it's going to pucker and it's going to come down, or else it's going to dimple up. So I'm not going to go to the store for that. I only have, I got those 2 holes, and I got a couple holes here and there for coaxial cables going through walls and stuff. And I've got to caulk this big old gap here and stuff. So I'm just going to use my caulking. And yes, like I said, it's going to take me over the span of probably 3 days, I'm guessing. Let's just get you a little closer. I mean, you're just going to have to visualize. And how am I going to get that caulking up there without it falling? Well, I just put it around the edge. I just put it around the sheetrock edge so it sticks. Get your tube up in there, because I want to fill this up in the back first, okay, to get it to stick. Now I can come back towards the outside, and I'll end up using more than that, but I'm just going to kind of get that. Wow, that was I did that pretty good. And I don't really want to get it over on the outside of the ceiling. I don't want to just put it up there and take a flat putty knife and go like that. And now I've got this big old flat smooth spot if I'm not paying attention, because I know how to fix that with caulking. I can make texture with caulking. Did you know that? If you're good, and I just happen to have kind of a roundish putty knife, and I go from the middle on out, from the middle out, the middle out, the middle out. Now I don't get it all spooged all over the place. Okay? Just another little spot there. How hard was that with your caulking? It didn't take that much caulking. Now, see, I don't want to start from the outside and go like that. Then it will drag. It'll drag some of your caulking out. You think, I just got that smooth. And you go over there and it drags. And then you get flat areas too. So if you go from the middle out, it's not going to drag. And it's going to be a lot cleaner. I didn't get hardly any of that on the outside. That's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to try to get it perfect, because no matter what I do, when that dries, it's going to dimple in. Okay? So tomorrow, when I look at that, I'll have to put some more on there. That's okay. I just have to remember to do it before I paint the ceiling. And like I said, I got other things to do up on the second floor. Okay? Make sure you got any paper edge. You don't want that sticking out, because that's big enough I can rip it off. You got just a sheetrock drywall screw for a picture or something that puckers around the hole. You just take a little screwdriver, and any little bit of paper you want to push to the inside, you know, that'll make your little patch easier. I could feel cold air coming through there, you know, coming down here. And another reason I'm filling it with caulking. Even if I was going to put this track light back up and it would cover this, I would still want to fill this up. Okay. It's just, when the guy drilled this hole. Okay. Now I'm going to let it stick down just a hair further, and that's okay. When I go from the middle out, I'm going to push some of that up. But when the guy drilled his holes, he even got it too wide, because on this track I could see little remnants of the hole missing. So I would have had to have at least done that. But this keeps the air out too. Okay, we do our trick from the middle out, middle out. Just like that, all the way around. Okay, look at that. There's no way you could have done that had you not started from the middle. You probably never knew that trick, did you? Okay, now I know that's not 100% perfect, but by Joe, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Okay, let's zoom you in just for kicks. See? Now tomorrow I'll do the same thing. I don't want to do it today. You know, this will dry and have a skin on the outside of the caulking. You may think, oh, I'll just put another layer on now. Well, the inside of the caulking, beyond the skinned area, is still going to be wet. And as it dries, because it's such a big hole, it's going to dimple. And because it's up on the ceiling, it's going to dimple in and up. Or you may get a little pucker. I shouldn't get a pucker. I did that pretty good. Made sure I've got it attached to the sides of the sheetrock as I went. Okay, so I don't think that's going to pucker down. If it does, you know, I have to take my sheetrock knife, kind of cut some off, but I don't think it's going to. Okay, if those holes were on a wall, I do it the same way, and fill it up, and from the middle out, even little holes. You see these? See this? This is where the TV was. Right there. Let's just I got to do that anyways. Okay. So let's just do that. Okay, I don't want to caulk it first because it's got an edge on it, the sheetrock, and so I just take a small little screwdriver, push that paper in, any little outside edge. If you just caulk that edge is still going to stick out. You're going to see exactly. Oh yeah, I caulked all those, and somebody's going to come in and say, oh, I see where you did it. You did it there. You did it there. You did it over there. You should have pushed those little areas in. Hey, push it in. Push that paper in. And then when you put the caulking in there, the caulking is going to keep it. It's going to keep it kept in. Okay. All right. Now the key is to have your tip nice and clean. Because I've got a wood subfloor, I'm just going to wipe it on the floor with my putty knife. Make sure I don't step on it. Okay. And I'm going to do just a drop. You know, and I got two little things there. That's way better. You cannot do that. Here's the other thing. You cannot do that if you get spackle, wet spackle or the dry spackle. You cannot put it on that small. You're going to take it with your little putty knife and you're going to take it and go like that. Okay. Here I'm filling up the hole, pushing it in further, and now depress. And it's right there. And I don't want to wipe the whole thing like that. It's going to drag, plus it's going to get it all over. I go from the middle, out, down. Okay. All the way around it. Like that. See? There. I could let that dry and paint over it, but tomorrow I'm gonna do a little trick that you may not have ever have known when you're using caulking. Okay? See, even these small ones, I can kind of go around and that's it. I'm not gonna mess with it anymore. See? Had you have used your spackle, there's no way you could have made a very small indentation on your patching. And then, especially if you don't have smooth wall, if you have, texture in your walls, which most people do, you're going to flatten out your textured area, however much of your caulking you got on the wall, right? So that's why even on small ones, I want to do this as carefully as I can. Okay? That way I don't get a big old wide thing like that. Oh, oops. Now I've got to flatten it down all over the place when you paint. Oh yeah, I see it. Right there. Okay? That's how your little hole's going to be. And see, here's another hole over there. I'll do it the same way. Same way. I do everything the same each time. See, there's another one. And don't forget to look up high. See, there's two little ones there. There's another thing up there. What I'll end up doing is I'll get my construction light down here. You'd be amazed. You get your construction light out and you see all kinds of things on the wall that you never would have dreamt of. And here's something that's been bugging me since day one. Every time I look at this wall, I see that. Right there. You see? I want to fix that. And so, I guess I will fix it. I don't even have my my knee pad. It's upstairs. And that could be a nail. Oh, I'll get my knee pad because I probably need my hammer too. All right, be right back. Let's do that one. Let's patch that one too, shall we? Well, that's all I have for this time, but I'll be back with more videos.